Hello everyone, welcome to another speedrun game where we play the King's Gambit, the Scandinavian, and the Benoni. Here comes a Scandinavian game against Hebert Kem. We take the pawn, we run like a bandit to a5, and then we develop. Okay, this is already super weird, I have no idea what this is. So we're out of book, out of theory, so you have to just adjust. That's chess for you. He wants the Fianchetto. This is all his own weird stuff. I'm going to start with c6 just because I know he wants the Fianchetto. I want to blunt it ahead of time. You could play with the move orders. You don't have to do that. Now I'm going to go bishop f5, e6, and so forth. Continuing with our normal setup. And we'll see what happens. Okay, he attacks our light square bishop. That's one thing maybe he wanted to do, but he can't play d4 if the knight's there. I'm just going to retreat the bishop. Now he hits our queen. Was that the whole idea? It's super weird. I'm going to swing it over to the other side of the board instead of going to a square like c7. And now his knights are on the queen side. A little bit weird looking. This does offer a queen trade. Okay, he does notice and says no. But he brings it out of the hole, which is weird. So I'm going to go in the hole and force his bishop back. And then I can offer the queen trade, but this time I would recapture with my knight, not my bishop, maintaining this threat. It's possible. He does go back. We do this, we also potentially provoke f3, which blocks his bishop, so we don't mind that. He plays it. So now we can go back to this wonderful square on the 5th rank, where we could just pinball back and forth. Boom, boom, boom. Nice activity. Foof, foof. I mean, the queen is powerful, so he goes here, opens up his dark square bishop. Because he played f3, he weakened his dark square complex around the king. So I was going to go bishop e7, but I wonder if there's an argument for like bishop d6. I'm just going to, I mean, it's susceptible to, it's closer to the center, so let's keep it further away. Long range piece. I don't want his knights to attack it. Okay, he moves the knight yet again. He wants to hit my queen, no doubt, and my bishop, no doubt. I'm okay with that. I'm just going to continue my development. I'm going to let him do it. He can have this bishop, which not really going to be doing much, and he'll open my rook, right? So we'll move our queen. This is bad. Bad, bad, bad. Bad. So here or here? Probably here. There's this weird idea when a knight is on this odd square or on the board, getting a queen diagonal to the edge, because there's no file that can kick it. There's no pawn that can ever dislodge this queen. It's a very weird construction, but it works well. He attacks our queen yet again, weakening his center. Maybe he's going to push so that he has a nice pawn duo, but he has left a lot of space behind. In any case, we have to move our queen. There is this open diagonal. We might as well give the check. Maybe he continues with the pawn duo. No, he goes c5, but it's only defended by the knight. It's attacked 3 times, so in no world does this work. So we can take this knight on d7, which is awkwardly placed, and win the pawn. If he takes back, he helps us develop our bishop with check. So we do that. So we're up a pawn. We're ready to castle. We could castle long if we wanted, but it seems very unnecessary. Okay, he moves his king. He now has an isolated pawn on the d file that we are going to target long term. We're just going to castle. We don't need the rook file towards his king. We're not going to be able to do anything with it if we think concretely. And so we have our win condition, right? We're already up a pawn, and we have this weakness. So we don't need to do anything else. We don't need to checkmate him unless he does something dumb. Our plan is simple. Put a rook on the d file. So he wants to fianchetto. Fine. Our knight dominated here. It only has one square, and that square happens to be a good square. Let's put it here, threaten this if he fianchettos. So we're restricting his development and improving our piece. And you could see the harmony that's happening. And the rook double stacks on the d file, if you can picture that. Very nice. So he moves the queen to cover the fork square, which is fine. But all of his dark squares are weak because all the pawns are all on light. So you can always just continue attacking stuff, supporting the knight jumps. It's really bad for him. He undefends this pawn. I think let's get a rook in the game. And let's choose this rook just to get it out of this alignment. 10 moves down the road, it might matter. Who knows? So let's use that rook. And see what he does. I don't know what he's going to do. Like if he just... Okay, he makes some room for the king, but... I mean, there's not really an active plan. It's just a random plan that can hardly be good because I can just take his stuff. I have a doubled pawn, which is extra defense. It's not so good for attacking sometimes, but it's always good for defense. Right? Like in Bug House, you love extra pawns. Not only for cool attacking, but you just place it in front of your king and you know you're super well defended. Anyway. We could centralize the bishop. We could attack the queen. So many moves. Wow. Okay, I'm just going to take his dark square bishop. He has a ton of dark square weaknesses, so I'm going to go here, hit his rook, hit his light square bishop. He'll probably take. If he doesn't, there's this fork. If he avoids the fork, we could take the other bishop even, because that's the defender of his king, and his second rank is super weak and open for heavies, rooks and queens. In any case, one of his bishops is disappearing. So he keeps this one, but he didn't handle the fork. So we were threatening many things. He also didn't move the rook. Yeah, maybe you couldn't handle everything at once. We're just threatening too much stuff. So let's take the rook. Now we're up even more material. He has to take back, and then we can go here, forcing... Wait, what? Okay, he's going for a checkmate in one threat. We're still going to go here. Attack his queen and disconnect his pieces, which is kind of cool. He takes, we take, forcing more material off the board. He takes. Now, how many of you would take back the queen instantly? But if you're paying attention, you know what to do. Intermezzo check. Boom. Grab the pawn. You're going to lose the knight anyway. He never took it. Might as well punish him for it by grabbing even more material. This doesn't ruin anything about the queen. And so don't auto move. Okay, if it's 3-minute chess, whatever. But if you're playing a rapid game, don't auto move. It's just a bad habit. Even if the rook taking queen is the best move, don't auto move. At least spend 5 seconds. And you see, he resigns. If I took the queen, he would have played. I took a pawn, he resigns because it's demoralizing that I didn't even take the queen. I'm like, you know what? I'll put that on hold. He's like, forget this. I'm resigning. So we have a nice Scandi game. Couple inaccuracies, no mistakes or blunders, 94%. That's what we like because we're learning the opening. So far, interesting, kind of fun. I'm excited to keep going and learning about it. It looks like it has a lot of potential. I don't know what this setup is, so computer says black is fine already. It's already equalized, but we play this move clearly just to blunt the bishop preemptively. He goes here, and now development and center. Just center and development. Saving the piece that was under attack. You don't have to because the queen was defending it, so you could just allow the trade. And maybe you even should just keep developing. It's faster. He hits our queen, so whatever, force move. He hits our queen, force move. He hits our queen, force move. He hits our queen, force move. And then we finally, oops, we finally get a chance to breathe here. So, oops, so we go back to developing king safety. Then development and center. He hits our queen, so force move. He hits our queen, force move. And from here on out, black is just going to be better, like a little better to a lot better. It's just going to go all in black's favor from here on out. So the game was playable from both sides up until now, and it still is. And now let's continue. Boom. The second he goes here, he hangs a super important pawn and gives me control over this c5 square, which I obviously want. So I take free stuff, and it's already losing at over -2. So you see blunders. So you have to make developing moves, natural moves, and then do enough puzzles so that you can catch some blunders, right? When stuff is hanging, and then you could win your games at these elos. He takes, improve a piece for free. King safety and development. He takes, force move, -3. Improving a piece for free. Developing center with X-ray threats. Improving a piece for free. And then he blunders, hangs the rook instead of taking the piece. He goes for a cheeky checkmate, which we tactically stop because we do puzzles. He takes a force move for free because it threatens just trades and the queen. We throw in an intermezzo because it's the strongest move. Rook takes, he takes your knight. But if you do this, he has to move his king somewhere. He's going to attack your knight, of course. And even then, just to troll him, you can throw in another check and then take the queen, right? It's just demoralizing. So another good Scandi game. Didn't follow theory. You know, only up to 3 moves. And you have to be able to adapt. You cannot rely on memorization. The memorizing and the theory is more of like a guideline. It shows you some like key positions that are ideal positions you want to reach. And then based on what your opponent does, you just use that. You're like, wait a second. This is even better than that because his knight's on a worse square, right? Like you're just using it as a reference to work around. You're not memorizing every variation. At least I'm not. Anyway, submit your rapid games in my Discord. Good luck on your chess. Goodbye.